Today, we are talking about something that's been essential on my own journey of slow living, and that is the art of saying no and setting boundaries. If you've ever felt overwhelmed by commitments and like your life doesn't feel very fulfilling, this video is for you. Together, we're going to explore how setting boundaries and saying no will actually leave you with more time for the things that truly matter. My name's Emily. I'm a therapist in private practice and a slow living advocate. And this is part 3 of the 4-part series that I am creating. And if you want to check out part 2, I'll leave a little note up here. All right, let's jump in. There is a difference between a full life and a busy life. A busy life looks like commitments, obligations, endless to do lists, and just anything that truly drains your energy. Whereas a full life looks like making time for what truly matters, being intentional, and really being thoughtful and meaningful and making sure that what you're choosing is aligned with your values. And I don't know about you, but I would prefer having a full life than a busy life. But if you want that, you need to learn to say no. You need to say no so that you can prioritize what truly matters to you. There's a lot of power in saying no. It's not just about turning something down, but rather about protecting your time and your energy so that you can focus on the things that are truly of value to you and matter most. And I get it, it's hard to do. We're in a society that kind of promotes just being nice and saying yes, and a lot of us can be yes people. I know I was a yes girl, but that way of living doesn't serve you. And so we need to look at approaching these situations in a different way. In order to approach your life in a different way, you need to figure out what's noise and what's essential. We live in a world that's really fast, tons of commitments coming up, requests. It can be hard to know what's just noise and what is essential that you want to spend your time on. And that's where kind of slow living comes in because slow living helps you identify what is of value, and it really cuts through the noise so that you can pick out the commitments and obligations that fill your cup and give you energy rather than drain you. By engaging in slow living, you are better able to slow down the decision process by asking yourself really important questions like, what truly adds value to my life? What aligns with my core values? This is really the most essential piece because everything else pulls you away from your authentic self. But I know that can be really up in the air, and I want to give you concrete strategies that you can utilize to better say no and set boundaries. The first step is knowing your values. You truly need to know your values so that when a request comes in, you can determine if that request is aligned with your values. And once you have your values as a guiding map, it's easier to say no because you can confidently say no, knowing that you're doing so in your best interest. You're doing so because it's aligned with your priorities. You're doing so because it aligns with the life that you want to live. The next step is practicing polite declines. When we say no to someone, we're not doing so in a mean way. We're not trying to hurt anybody's feelings. And we can say no in a polite but firm way. We can say, thank you so much for the invitation, but I'm not free. Or I'm honored, but I have other commitments. Right? That's polite and it's firm, and you don't need to give tons of details. You just need to show appreciation while still maintaining your boundaries. If you're enjoying this video so far, I recommend that you hit the subscribe button so that you can be notified when the next episode of this series comes out. The next strategy is the slow yes. So I spoke about this in a video once where it's the quick no and the slow yes. So when somebody asks you to go somewhere, to do something, you can say, thank you so much. Let me check my schedule and get back to you. You don't have to answer on the spot. You can take the time that you need to make a thoughtful decision and reflect if this is the decision you want to make that aligns best with the life you want to live. I think a lot of the time when we say yes to things, it's because we're doing so like right away on the spot. We feel pressure. And know that you don't need to feel that pressure. You can say, let me get back to you. Another important strategy is setting clear boundaries from the start. When you know what your boundaries are and you commit to those boundaries, it makes it so much easier to say no because that boundary is already set in stone. It's a non negotiable. So, for instance, I don't work Fridays. I don't see clients on Fridays. That's my admin day, that's my video day. And because I know it from the start, and my clients know that that's a non negotiable day, it just makes saying no so much easier. So when they say, oh, can we book on a Friday? It's like, oh, I don't work Fridays. And that's it. And I think it's when we don't have clear boundaries, like when I wasn't sure, oh, what days am I working evenings? What days am I not working evenings? That's when it becomes really difficult to set boundaries and say no. So set clear boundaries from the start of how you want to spend your time and your energy. The fifth strategy is reflecting on trade offs. Know that when you say yes to something, you're automatically saying no to something else. So before you actually say yes, consider what you're giving up and know what you prioritize. Keep that top of mind because that is what you're going to be putting every single decision against. So if you prioritize family time, then working overtime at your job would be taking away from that. So if you're saying yes to overtime, you're saying no to family time. You need to embrace the power of saying no. No isn't just no, it is about retaking your power. It's about controlling how you live your life. It's about living your life with intention. It's about focusing on what matters most to you. And when you say no to things that just don't serve you, you make room for the things that actually make your life richer and happier and meaningful. And it's uncomfortable. I understand that. You're not used to it. I wasn't used to it at first, and I had a hard time. Like I said, I was a yes girl. But the more you say no and practice it, the better you'll be and the more comfortable you'll be with it. And if your fear is that you'll hurt someone's feeling or you'll feel guilt after it, know that your worst possible scenario won't come true. What I've found is people generally respect a no. They get it. We just worry so much that we're going to hurt the other person. But if you're doing so in a tactful way, in a polite way, I think you'll find that it'll turn out much better than you're imagining in your mind. So just practice, practice, practice. That's the only way you'll get comfortable with it. If you missed last week's video, I will put it right here. In this video, I share 8 slow living tips that will help you on your journey. They're all beginner friendly. All right, I'll see you next week for episode 4 of this series. Bye.